I was booked on the 3:15 flight to Yogjakarta, Indonesia, this afternoon via AirAsia. I've checked in, and as I was going through the immigration counters, I was black. The senior officer came to talk to me, and I was informed that I have been barred from leaving the country, and this is the proof from above. They have no clue what the reason why I've been barred from the country. I was at KLIA 2. The officers were with me. They were nice. Encik Abdul Halim and Encik Abid, and they have suggested that I have to approach the, if I'm not wrong, the Securities Division of the Home Ministry to appeal or to request for permission to leave the country. I'm not sure how that works. Never been barred from leaving the country before, and I am, however, shocked that I've been barred from leaving the country. I was planning to go to Jogja for a trip to part of the project to do the Penang Arts District. We were looking at the art scene in Jogja. It was for work. I was to return from Jogja on the 25th to Singapore for a reunion dinner in Singapore with my former schoolmates before taking a flight from Singapore to Penang on Sunday morning. So my plans were to come back, not to run away. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make these trips now. I'm shocked that I'm barred because I've not been informed by anyone before today that I'm not allowed to leave the country. I've not even been called for any investigation or questions recently with regards to anything that will prevent me from leaving the country. I find this a clear abuse of power. I can only speculate what the reasons may be. I've got no idea what the reasons are, and as what everyone would have speculated, it is related to the vehement criticisms that I've made against One Malaysia Development Berhad. But as for the actual reasons why I was barred, you would have to ask the head of immigration, or perhaps even Dato Sri Zahid Hamidi himself, the Home Minister. As far as I'm aware, I've committed absolutely no crimes, or I've taken part in no illegal activities in any issues relating to 1MDB. And this is a gross abuse of power to deny me my freedom of travelling anywhere that I want to go to without any due process or justice being given to me. For those who are interested, you may perhaps call the, if I'm not wrong, the Chief of Immigration. His name is Dato Mustafa Ibrahim, 019-600-1015. I couldn't reach him when I tried to reach him while I was stopped at immigration earlier. What else? I will be consulting my lawyers, and I will be looking into filing a suit against the government for preventing me from leaving the country without due process. So that's something that I will look into. I've spoken to Govind. He is away, and we'll be meeting up tonight to look at the process of doing so.
Just say a few words. I think what has happened is an outrage, which is an understatement, and I don't think words are adequate to express what has happened to Tony Pua, MP for Jaya Utara. This may be the first case where a member of parliament has been barred from leaving the country without knowing under what offences this decision has been taken. We want to know who is responsible for this decision. Whether it is the Director of Immigration, the Minister of Home Affairs, or the Prime Minister himself, or the very shadowy and very amorphous Special Task Force. Because we still don't know who is really running the task force, its terms of reference, its powers, and its scope. But undoubtedly, it has raised signals that the whole thing is about the 1MDB scandal, the biggest financial scandal in the history of the country, which has been roiling for the last 5 years, and recently has become degenerated into a farce when a so-called BN communications, a strategic communications director took over the strategic communications and made the strategic errors almost each a day, and now it's been degenerated into a madness. The member of parliament is Rafizi also. In the case of Rafizi, 2 members of parliament, or at least 2 members of parliament, being barred from the country. I think the country are entitled to know the reasons for barring Tony Pua and Rafizi, who are known for trying to pry open the 1MDB scandal. Up to now, what is very telling is that the Wall Street Journal reported an allegation on the 3rd of July in Malaysia and the 2nd of July in the States that 700 million US dollars or 2.6 billion ringgit of funds have been deposited into Najib's personal private accounts in M-Bank less than 2 weeks before the dissolution of Parliament on the 3rd of April for the 13th general election has not been denied. And I think that overshadows all other aspects of the 1MDB scandal, whether about Tony Pua, about Rafizi, or about Lester, or about Justo. That is sense about everything else. Why has the Prime Minister failed to deny that 2.6 billion ringgit has been deposited into his personal accounts, and the former Prime Minister's blog saying that the UMNO is quite satisfied because the money has been used for general elections purposes, which is a gross abuse of power and corrupt electoral practice. I want to ask if everybody involved in the 1MDB scandal are now on the blacklist. Is Najib on the blacklist? Is Najib on the blacklist? If there's anybody who should be on the blacklist, Najib should be on the blacklist. I think the whole world comes to a conclusion, because until and unless the whole 1MDB scandal, the whole, we get to the bottom of it, Najib is the one who is most, is virtually in the position of an accused, and he should be on the blacklist, and therefore is he on the blacklist. And secondly, I think there is a need for immediate explanation as to how many people are on the blacklist, who are on the blacklist, and why are they on the blacklist. I think for the moment.
Immigration has a website where you can check the status of your immigration status. And when we key in Tony Pua's and Rafizi Ramli's IC, we found that the message said sila rujuk kepada Jabatan Immigration. When I key in my own IC, the status is tiada halangan, so it means I can I still can go and leave the country and come back. But I think one of the things that I immediately checked was the status of Sharul Homi, the former CEO of 1MDB, and a person who has been named in the various Sarawak report investigations pertaining to the dealings with Petro Saudi. And I found that his IC has not been barred from leaving. He has not been barred from leaving the country. So why is it that if, let's say, these individuals have been barred from leaving the country because of 1MDB investigations, how come one of the key figures who has not come to answer questions at the PAC yet, how come this person has not been barred from leaving the country? I've yet to ascertain whether Arul Kandasamy, the current CEO, whether he has been barred or not, but I will continue to check. So I think to emphasize what Saudara Lim said just now, if the authorities are to be consistent, then the people who should be investigated are those who are directly implicated in the 1MDB scandal, including the current CEO as well as the former CEO, and not members of parliament who are doing their job in terms of playing the role of check and balance to the government.
I just want to ask whether this is precursor to a crackdown. Whether this is a precursor to a crackdown, especially in light of what the IGP said this morning, that there is conspiracy, there are attempts to overthrow the government, and I think the IGP is also answerable on what he meant by conspiracy theory, and also who are the people that he was mentioning.
So when I received the news just now, I thought Tony Pua didn't pay up his PTPTN. But in fact, during his time, there is no PTPTN. The question we want to ask is, who gives the instruction to the immigration? And then the Home Minister must give us an answer. Otherwise, it will be seems like abuse of power.